Hello, I am most unexpected. Someone asked me for a 1 year review of the Valve Index, and I'm afraid I can't do that. So instead, here's my 1 year and a few months review of the Valve Index. First off, let me address how it's held up over the time I've had it, as that is what I've been asked most often about. Mine is fine and in excellent condition, despite my clumsy ways and the criticisms I've received for apparently mishandling it. It still looks brand new and everything still works as it did when I bought it. I've heard that some have experienced controller drift or other problems, which I can confidently say I've never experienced, despite using one of said controllers to accidentally punch a hole in my wall. Being clumsy and playing in a tight play space, I have punched and walked into objects, hit myself and the headset by accident, dropped the controllers and base stations, yet none of them show any damage or wear. Although I think by saying all that, it gives the appearance that I've been really rough on my equipment, when in reality I've been quite gentle. At least I think I have. I'm cautious with the headset, or try to be, but the wire, or cable, does concern me. I fear one day the constant bending will fray and stretch the wiring until one day it is unresponsive, but that has not happened yet and shows no sign of it. Being electronic wiring that bends often, I know what will eventually wear out, which is unavoidable. I hope to prolong its life for as long as I can. Wired headsets are intrinsically limited in movement, but not significantly. With my limited play space, I have no troubles with the wire. Cable extensions can be bought to give even more length if you find it necessary, or want to play in a separate room from your PC. Personally, I enjoy the advantages of wired hardware, but wireless accessories and modifications may become available in the future if they haven't already, but they're probably going to be expensive. I am also fearful of wearing down my controllers, as I've done to many of my console controllers, especially because the Valve Index controllers are so expensive, but they too have yet to show any signs of wear. As for the care and cleaning of the Valve Index, I use electronic wet wipes to clean the surfaces of the Valve Index, especially the controllers. One thing I had not expected was a buildup of grime on the lenses. After enough use, oils from my eyelashes built up on the lenses. This is because the lenses sit very close to your eyes. I use glasses cleaning cloths and similar items to clean the lenses. If you have lens cleaning kits for, say, cameras and such, those will work excellently. Getting the lenses scratched would be especially bad, and I haven't yet. Sharing the headset can be gross because the faceplate soaks up sweat. It gets hot in there, and I don't like pressing that to my face when it is soaked in someone else's sweat. If you plan on sharing your headset, consider buying extra faceplates for that reason. As for the base stations, I have them set up at the very end of their wires, and I fiddle with their positioning every now and then. They come with screws to anchor them to the walls, but I haven't done that yet. I'm saving them for if I ever get a bigger play space. Every now and then a base station will not receive the signal to turn on. I don't know what causes this, but if it happens, unplugging it from the wall resets it and gets it to work. Other day-to-day things I hadn't heard in reviews before experiencing it myself. Booting up SteamVR to play a game takes about a minute before you can play. The base stations must turn on and speak to the headset, and the headset must turn on too. Then you must turn on the controllers manually. If you don't let everything turn on before you start your game, then you will have problems. When you're done playing, you must quit the application, turn off the controllers, then turn off SteamVR, which turns off the headset and base stations. If you don't turn off the controllers first, then they will stay on and drain the batteries, and then you'll have to charge them next time you decide to play. If you don't quit SteamVR before turning off your PC, then the base stations will stay on and make their little whirring noise, which is annoying if you are set up in the same room you sleep in. This whole process takes time from your play session, deterring me from small spurts of VR play. Even when you have closed SteamVR and completely turned off your PC, small blue lights are still visible on your headset and base stations. Since I play in my room, I found the lights annoying, especially the ones on the headset, as they illuminate my room at night. I now cover them up while I'm sleeping. As to how it performs, that is largely dependent on your hardware and the game. I have an Intel 11th Gen i9 CPU, 64 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 2070 Ti. I find my PC can handle every game I play at normal settings or above, but the performance drops considerably when I am capturing footage. I'm not sure if I'm optimizing my settings to get the best performance from my headset for games such as Half-Life Alyx, as the settings within SteamVR do not explain themselves. So between that and my screen capture, I usually play at lower visual fidelity to keep my frame rate high. I wish I could be certain that I'm getting the best performance possible, but it's beyond me and too much work most of the time to go into the fine details, especially because I keep on going back and forth between capturing footage and streaming and playing on my own. That said, there is a ceiling to how good things can look in the Valve Index. The pixel resolution is not the crispest on the market, not anymore. At some point, the Valve Index doesn't have enough visual fidelity for the highest end graphics, even if your PC can handle them. If I were to give a comparison, I would liken it to playing on a 1080p monitor. More power and resolution will have a positive impact, but once you exceed 1080p settings, you have drastically diminishing returns in terms of power to fidelity. Fidelity is largely dependent on your distance from the object shown, because of the pixelation. Things far away lose their sharpness and become blurred. Reading things at varying distances and sizes makes me adjust the IPD often, as it seems I can never find the sweet spot for that. Because of an object's fidelity differing significantly by distance, far objects don't need as high of a resolution, but there's a massive payoff to high resolution textures right in front of you. As for the screen door effect, I have not noticed it. When the Valve Index released, I believe the screen door effect was minimal compared to other headsets at the time, and now it is outclassed by the Varo and presumably the next generation of Primax headsets and the other headsets that are on their way. That said, I haven't noticed the screen door effect often enough to comment. Just pixels. As for glare, the lack of true blackness, and God rays, it doesn't bother me. I hear the glare and God rays massively upset other VR enthusiasts, those who enjoy the crispness of deeper black pixels, but I never owned an OLED screen in my life, so I'm used to these illuminated black screens. Darkness in a video game is still dark, it's still hard to see in the dark, but I don't miss what I never had. If I ever upgrade in the future, this might be something to look forward to. I will say that between the other headsets I've briefly tried, the Oculus Rift and the VR attraction in Disneyland, I believe utilizing the HTC Vive, the picture quality overall is definitely better in the Valve Index compared to the other older headsets that I've tried. What about field of view? The field of view is less than your natural field of view with your eyes field of view, but it does not feel limiting. If you are used to glasses, sunglasses, or goggles, then this won't bother you at all. You can't use your peripheral vision, so you must turn your head to see beyond a certain angle. You can still look around using your eyes, as the field of view is not overly limiting. It is enough that you only have to turn your head to look at things that in all honesty you would turn your head to look to in real life if you wanted to actually look at it. Again, when it released, the headset had one of the higher fields of view, but still not as high as a Primax headset, and I believe the fields of view are just getting bigger. One thing I miss is the wow factor of putting on a VR headset for the first time and experiencing depth and scale in a video game in a way that only VR can provide. This feeling is, it quickly disappeared for me. Now, a VR headset is like looking at a screen that moves with my head, until something incredible brings back that euphoria, that awe-inspiring feeling of seeing depth in a video game. Things like beautiful vistas or a derailed train rolling towards me are good examples of when that sense of being in the game comes back to you. It's like watching a movie in theaters with 3D glasses. The wow factor of the 3D aspect quickly diminishes as your brain becomes used to it, until you are reminded that the movie is 3D. You have to will your brain to realize this, as it will try and normalize the experience. But in the end, do you need to tell your brain such things for normal daily life? The brain normalizes VR movement in depth, turning it into just another screen, but it'll always be more immersive than a normal screen. That doesn't take away from the motion controls though. The base stations track very well, provided you stay in their view. They'll have no problems. I feel a third base station would allow more freedom, but since my play space is so limited, a third base station would be meaningless. 2 is plenty for me. Movement in VR, from the games I've played, can feel unnatural at times depending on locomotion options. Finding the right way to move is essential for comfort, otherwise you may get motion sickness. I enjoy smooth movement in any games that provide it. I hate teleporting around. I think this is because I got used to first-person shooters before ever playing VR. I like using my thumbsticks exactly like a controller for console. For some people, they avoid motion sickness by staying put and teleporting. The teleporting usually doesn't sit well with me. Being able to walk around with your feet or simulate it is the best option for your stomach and for your head, but I do not have the room for that. It's teleportation and stuttering frame rates that get me motion sick. I think the high frame rate of the Valve Index helps keep motion sickness at bay. That's why I always prioritize not stuttering and frame rate over picture quality. The thumbsticks of the Index controllers work very well for me in movement, but problems can arise based on the game I'm playing or the internal settings of the game. It can get frustrating when the direction of forward on the thumbstick is relative to how your controller is oriented, which throws off my movement. I also do not like the trackpad. Control schemes which rely on pressing on specific parts of the thumb pad are difficult to execute and I often misclick. Also, it is super sensitive, and so when you try and use the scroll feature, I usually find it's too sensitive for my use. I think this might be because some of those games were not intended specifically for the Valve Index form, but maybe like HTC Vive controllers or something where the trackpads are technically read differently. That might be it. Oh, and for that matter, the main menu button is awkward to reach for my thumbs, although this might be by design so you don't accidentally click on it. Seeing my individual fingers move in VR is fantastic. Not all games support it, but it is always a fun little touch. It's not perfect, it can only register open fingers or closed fingers, the individual fingers that is, and degrees of open and closed in some cases, and sometimes it reads the fingers wrong, such as mistaking the pinky for a different finger. This feature led to the strap, which keeps the controller in the palm of your hand even when you let go, it's an incredible feature. It takes some getting used to, the fact that you can open your hand and not drop your controller, but it allows for cool controls and mechanics. Unfortunately, throwing things in VR is still extremely difficult for me, and I struggle with it. Quick note about the built-in mic. It's exceptional. If I need a mic while in VR, I always use the built-in Valve Index mic. It's really great. On the subject of comfortability, as I mentioned, slow and especially inconsistent frame rate in VR makes me motion sick, so I'm glad the Valve Index has up to 144 Hz. The headset strap is comfortable and easy to use, with multiple aspects being able to be adjusted to fit anybody. The adjustable IPD, the distance between your eyes, is a very significant feature, especially, you can always adjust the lenses to the distance of your eyes. This should not be understated. This is significant. Unfortunately, again, I can't figure out what my IPD is, so I don't think I ever have it right. And the straps on the controllers can also be adjusted in multiple ways for different hand sizes, which is nice. The limiting factor for long gaming sessions is getting too hot where the headset rests on your face, and can get hot and uncomfortable. Weight is not an issue due to the distribution on your head by the strap, and again, the headphones don't press against you, so your ears won't get sore. I've been told that the headset of the Valve Index is the most comfortable available, And with the many adjustments the whole headset affords, anyone can wear this headset and easily adjust it to fit them. Back to the headphones. They're excellent, proving that they can give the same audio quality as a gaming headset while not pressing to your ear. They can be very loud, so I keep mine at around 20% volume. Now, I've been asked in the comments of a previous video if there's audio bleed in the Valve Index headphones. Just think of them like normal noise canceling headphones, where if you set them down away from you, you're not going to be able to hear them unless the volume is very high. This also causes a small annoyance for me, who constantly goes back and forth between VR and my computer screen, because when you activate Steam VR, your headset will become the primary audio output, and if any other audio outputs are in use, they will be diminished in volume significantly, so you can't really use them. You have to use your headset. But if you're going back and forth between your headset and the screen, if you're taking off your headset, then you won't be able to hear anything. But the headset does have a feature where you can lift up the goggles so that you can look while still wearing the headset. However, the goggles never stay up for me. They always keep on falling back down onto my face. It's a minor annoyance, a little hassle. I don't know if anyone really mentioned that before, so I'm just letting you know. If you're going back and forth between your index and your screen, it can get a little annoying. Well, at least as far as audio is concerned. Overall, between the sturdiness of the equipment, the once top-of-the-line fidelity, great performance, and extraordinary comfort, I can wholeheartedly say I don't regret my purchase. When I bought it, I was a first-time VR customer who needed the whole kit to get started. I looked at my other options and decided the Valve Index was the best option for me based on what I wanted out of my experience at the time. The best all-around experience, even if other headsets outclassed it in one aspect at the expense of another. That may not be the case anymore. If you're in the market for a headset now, I would encourage you, weigh your options. There's a new generation of headsets on the way, some confirmed, some still rumored. Cost is a huge factor. The Quest 2 and the PSVR are currently the cheapest options right now to get into VR, but they won't offer you the high-end experiences and their libraries are limited. The best visual headsets available are wildly expensive, and you still need a powerful PC to run them, plus you run into all the issues of PC gaming, but all the freedom of PC gaming. At this time, I would advise potential buyers to wait and see what the next generation of VR headsets provide. PlayStation has revealed some small tidbits of their next headset, the PSVR 2, and hopefully will soon reveal more. Primax has also promised headsets with incredible specs that would make their headsets the best on the market, no question. But other headsets may also be on their way, and rumors of Valve Index 2 have started appearing at the time I'm making this video. Perhaps if you tried the other headsets, you can let us know in the comments what they're like and how they compare. I can't stop myself from looking at the incredible upgrades, accessories, and innovations made for VR. It's like window shopping for me because I know I can't afford them, but I still like seeing the incredible technology that's out there. Things such as haptic gloves and bodysuits and VR treadmills and the high-end thousands of dollar headsets and of course the games. I hope to experience more VR over the years if I'm able to. I've made some content about VR already, including this video, such as unboxing the Valve Index, some reviews of VR games, gameplay, and streams, which you can find on my YouTube channel. If you'd like to support me in my VR adventure, please like this video, comment, and subscribe, and consider watching some of my other content. I hope to see you next time, but until then, take care and God bless.